All right, I gotta ask about the White House Correspondents dinner and what happened. We all know what happened. So I'm not going to get into specifics. I'm not going to ask, you know, if it was staged or fake or anything. But what I am going to ask is is something off about that whole event that disrupted the White House Correspondents dinner? Is something off about that whole scene, what they're telling us? Something is just not feeling right to me about it. I can't exactly say what it is. But is something off about it? Are we not seeing what is really, really, really happened behind the scenes? Okay. Something feels off. Maybe as we get more information, I can, you know, get deeper into reading about it, but something is just not making sense. It's not making sense. Something is off about it. So am I right that something is, we are not being shown, is not being seen? What are we getting here? I know I'm like sounding discombobulated in my question. I think the cards know what I mean, but it's hard to like phase the question because something's being hidden from us. Okay. Tell me about that event. Tell me about that event. Tell me about that event. All right, here we go. We got upside down. Actually, we have two. Okay. So this one would have been first, all right? Okay, interesting. Yeah, these cards are like not slippery, but they do stick together. Okay, I think that's good. I'm just gonna cut. Okay, let's start here. Let's see what we go. So weird. Secrets. Yeah, at the bottom of the deck. We got the High Priestess upside down and the Moon right side up. Yeah, there's secrets. Okay. All right, so we have the Two of Dice. Oh, shoot. Where is my little cheat sheet that tells me? I know I should know it by now, but I'm still remembering. I want to have it in front of me. Because dice is swords. That's right. Swords. So we have Two of Swords upside down. And two's about choices, dualities. So swords, you know, swords information. So there's there's two stories here. There's a couple of different stories here, right? And it's upside down, so it's not being clear what actually happened. You know, there were some choices of a story that they wanted to put out into the public, right? And I've heard a couple of different people talk. You know, there are the people that think that it was completely staged, it was a complete setup, and then some other people are saying no, but they were aware that this person was a real potential threat and they didn't do anything about it. That's why the security was the way that it was, so that they could spin the story, because ultimately it was about you know, getting the ballroom, since that was the first thing. Like, you know, you know, somebody, and an event like that happens and somebody has a firearm and wants to go after you, and the first thing that you say when you're whisked away is about a ballroom, and not, you know, talking about the violence in the country and the problems that we have with guns. But no, okay. So, so there's a few stories that are being thrown at us. So we're not being shown the full story. That is for sure. Two of dice, Two of Swords upside down. Then we have the Seven of scoops. Oh yeah. Sevens are, you know, scoops is, again, pentacles. So we have the Seven of Pentacles upside down. Yeah. They're not, it's about money. Pentacles is money. And they aren't being truthful with, you know, with us about the money spending that's happening, right? So an event happened and they're spinning it and they're being very vague. You know, this is also about, sevens can be about obstacles. So if this is something that they have spun to get financial money, it's not working out the way that they thought it would. People are seeing through it. Much easier now. People are, I mean, I heard that they said 70% of the country, the first thing that they thought was that it was fake, that it was staged, and that they didn't even care. And that's terrible to think that that's how people are feeling right now in the United States. And then also I was reading news from, you know, what they're saying in other countries, and they all don't believe it. They all believe that it was somehow orchestrated by the government here to get this ballroom, because that's what they want so badly. So yeah, we're not being told the truth, and there's an obstacle. They're getting hit with obstacles and the illusions. You know, sevens can be like an experience too, and it's not working. You know, like you're being gaslighted for so long, people are starting to see through it, see through the gaslighting, and then, you know, coming back to the information. Nines are, you know, things are coming to culmination and fruition and fulfillment, and that's what they want. They want to spin the story because they're trying to fulfill their goal, which is to get the support of the American people so that they can fund their ballroom/bunker for an estimated $400 million that now would be taxpayers would pay for it. That was what they were hoping that they were going to do. So yeah, so that was the point of this situation. So yes, we aren't seeing the full story. That is for sure. The High Priestess, there's definitely secrets. She's upside down, right? So we're not seeing them. We're not being shown the full story, right? They're hiding a lot from us. And then of course you also have the moon, and the moon is about that, right? The moon is about illusions, right? And the moon, yeah, think of the moon as the illusion. They didn't have an illusionist. They had a mind, what did they have? A mind reader or something there, something. So this is about mystery and hidden truths. Yeah, we're not seeing the full truth. And, you know, the High Priestess being in the upside down, you know, the High Priestess, she is about wisdom and intuition and the unseen realms, right? So they're being very secretive with us right now, right? About what this real story is. So there's a story underneath the story we've been given. That's what you need to know. This was upside down, and this was right side up. There is a story that we're being given, and we're not being given the full story. So when I said, that's why I didn't get really specific, like maybe when there's more information, I might break it down and ask about that, I don't know. But I just wanted to know if something seemed off about the situation. And yes, something is off about it. I'm not saying what it is. I don't know what it is. But something is not as it seems. Something is not as it seems. Just remember that. Trust your intuition. What is your gut telling you? Whew, crazy, crazy. But, you know, I listen to a lot of astrologers and psychics, and I have a lot of hope in the sense that a lot of this bullshit and shadow stuff that is happening that we have not been aware of, which has probably happened throughout history, I know it has, hiding the truth from the people, is finally coming up to the surface. And it must do that, as ugly as it looks and as terrible as it is and how hard it is, so that we see it, so that we can change it and we can do something about it. So it's in the astrology that there's going to be a lot of major shifts. Psychics are picking up on it. Intuitives are picking up on it. You know, people who talk to their spirit guides are getting confirmation. We have to bring out everything that is in the shadows to the light. And that is happening very quickly. It's going to be even happening quicker now that Uranus has moved into Gemini. We're going to be getting even more information, and it's just a battering of stuff. So think of your intuition. Know that not all is as it seems. A lot of things are in the shadows, but they will be coming to light. And that gives us an opportunity to change things. So have hope. In the meantime, find your joy. And my candle says, you make the world a better place. Oh, sorry, you can't see it. You make the world a better place. So in your own little world, make it a better place. And just because it looks like a shit show out there doesn't mean you can't have fun and have joy in your life. But I mean, I knew it from the moment I saw it. Like my gut said, oh, something's off here. And I just wanted to read the Stranger Cards deck because we are literally living in the upside down. Literally living in the upside down. I'm looking at the image on the Two of Dice. I don't know who that is from the Stranger Things. These might be characters in Dungeons and Dragons, maybe. Anybody could tell me who knows Dungeons and Dragons, you know? Interesting stuff. All right. Craziness. It's just crazy. It's a crazy world. All right. If you listened this whole time, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let me know your thoughts. What are you seeing? Are you seeing anything that I am not seeing? You know, and if you can add any insight, I would love it. All right, everybody. Stay safe and stay joyful. See you next time.